In 2026, we are locking in and we are finishing our manuscript. Hi friends, my name is Cassidy. If you're new here, I am an aspiring author and I am currently working on a second chance romance with an element of mystery and suspense, and I refer to that project as Project Miles. If you want to know more about Project Miles, definitely go check out all of the other videos on my channel. I dive deep into what Project Miles is about, and I am documenting the journey of writing Project Miles. And that leads me into today's topic. We are going to be talking about my 2026 goals for my writing journey and Project Miles. I started seriously getting back into writing in 2024, and then in 2025 I didn't really set any writing goals for myself. But in 2026, I am ready to be serious about my writing and really see where it can take me. So I knew I wanted to set some goals that I could stick to and refer back to throughout the whole year, and I just feel like these goals will set me up for success to get where I want to be in 2026 in terms of my writing journey. So these goals are really going to motivate me to just hit the ground running in January. And I am definitely a vision board girl. I love making a vision board. I have one for my personal life. I want to make one for my wedding because I just got engaged. And now I wanted to make one that is really dedicated to just my writing and my author journey in 2026. So we will definitely dive into my vision board a little bit. Now let's get into my writing goals for 2026. And as you can see, I'm currently standing in front of my bookshelf and it is still holiday themed because I'm filming this in December, and by the time you're watching this, it's going to be January or the end of December, which means the holiday season will have passed, which is depressing, but anyways. Now I've broken up my goals into 3 categories, and I have all my goals listed out on Notion so that as I complete the goal, I get to check them off, which is just satisfying for me personally. And the first category is goals specific to Project Miles. So my first goal for Project Miles is to finish draft 1. Now, as I said, I've been documenting the journey of writing Project Miles on this channel, and I'm only in draft 1. I started writing it in July of 2025, and I am a slow writer, so that's why I'm not done with it yet. I'm about halfway through the draft, but I know in 2026 I will definitely be able to accomplish this and finish draft 1. And then related to that goal, we have edit draft 1. And that one is another obvious thing I'll be able to do in 2026. I'm actually so excited for when I finally get to edit the manuscript, because I feel like when you are writing a manuscript and you're at the end of it, you kind of almost forget what happened at the beginning, especially if you write over a long period of time like me. So I know in July when I started this, I definitely was still a little unsure of where I was going to go with the story, and I'm sure that reflects in my writing. So I'm excited to go back and revise everything, and there are so many things that I know I want to change, but my approach to writing, especially if it's just draft 1, is just to get words on the paper and keep the story moving instead of going back and editing things. And then while I'm editing draft 1, I also want to start outlining draft 2. And I think if I have an outline for draft 2 while I'm editing draft 1, it might make things easier for me. But I really want to outline draft 2 by using sticky notes. I've seen a lot of authors outline their book using sticky notes, and visually for me, I think that would be really helpful to see. And then we also have edit draft 2. I almost feel like I am being a little ambitious by wanting to edit draft 1 and draft 2 in 2026. Project Miles is not the first project I've ever completed, but I've never completed a project past the draft 2 revision. So I don't know how long it will take me to revise draft 1 and write draft 2. But obviously with draft 2, I'll already have like the bones of the story. So I think it will take me a shorter amount of time to finish writing draft 2. And then hopefully at some point in the year I can edit draft 2 as well. And then I would really like to move my manuscript over from Google Docs to a dedicated writing software. I've never used anything besides Google Docs to write my manuscript, but I've seen a lot of author tubers use Scrivener or Milanote, and I think you have to pay for both of those softwares, but I would really like to do some research into those softwares and see if it's worth moving over from Google Docs, which is free, to a different software. I don't know much about either Scrivener or Milanote or any other type of writing software, but from what I've seen, Scrivener sounds really cool, and I think it tracks your writing progress, or like when you're on a writing streak. I definitely have to do a little bit more research into it because I really know nothing about these softwares, but if you know anything about them or if you use them, definitely let me know your thoughts and if you think it's worth moving my manuscript over from Google Docs to a different software. I personally feel like it would make me feel more professional in my writing, but I don't know if it matters that much, to be honest. And in 2026, I would really like to read more novel writing books for my own development. I think it would definitely help me. I've never really read any like educational books on how to write a book, but I believe reading can only make you a better writer. So I don't think it would hurt. I can't remember the specific name of the ones I want to read, but there's one about romance writing because I'm writing a romance. And if there are any books out there about how to tell a compelling mystery, because I've never written a mystery book before, so I'm definitely navigating that right now as I write Act 2 of Project Miles. And then the last 2 goals I have under the Project Miles category is maybe start draft 3 and maybe begin querying my project to agent. But those 2 goals obviously are conditional on if I finish writing draft 2 and if I think it's ready to be sent out to agents. I don't know much about the process of querying agents as well, so I need to do a little bit more research on that before I even think about sending my manuscript over. I would absolutely love to go down the traditional publishing route, but again, I really haven't thought much about that part of things yet because I'm more focused on just writing my novel and finishing it. So that was all my goals for Project Miles, and now we are going to shift over into my goals for my writing routine in 2026. I don't have many, but I know I want to fix my writing routine in 2026. I work full-time and writing is more so a hobby of mine, but it's also a dream of mine to be a full-time author. And I feel like in order to get there, I kind of have to act like writing is my job already, and I'm not doing that right now. I'm only really writing when I have free time or when I feel like it, and that is not an option in 2026. We are creating routine. So of course, my first goal for my writing routine is to create a concrete writing routine and schedule writing days. Because like I said, I really only write when I feel like it, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want to have scheduled writing days. So for now, I think my writing days will be Wednesday and Sunday. Based off this past year, I know those are the days where I can definitely find time to write. And then my next goal is monthly word count goals. I know a lot of people don't really look at their word count as a form of success and accomplishment for their weeks or their months, and I totally understand that, but for me personally, I love to have a word count goal, and I want to start setting monthly goals for how many words I want to write that month. And I will take it on a month by month basis. Like, I'm not going to say every month I'm going to write 10,000 words. And then my last one is kind of more general, but I would really just love to stay organized and commit to structure, because when it comes to my writing, I have no structure and I'm not organized, and I really want to be organized this year because I really am starting to take my writing more seriously. And if I want to finish this book while having a job and a million other things going on, I think the way to do it is to stay organized, whether that's through Notion or having a physical planner to plan out my weeks and my days, which I think I definitely will get a physical planner that I use only for my writing, because I do love having a physical planner. And then my third category of goals is channel growth. Now, this isn't necessarily related to my writing, but because my channel is based around my writing, I thought I would also include them. I would love to grow my channel to 500 subscribers. Right now, I'm currently sitting at 197, I think, which is so close to 200. We're almost there. Hopefully by the time this goes up, I will be at 200. So I think in 2026, that is a reasonable goal to have. And then I'd also like to post one video every week consistently. If I post more in a week, then that is a dream. And then I'd also love to post more on Book Talk. I've had a Book Talk for a long time and I really loved posting there, but then I kind of fell off posting about books in 2025 when I was in a reading slump, and then I started this channel and all of my creative focus was going into filming and editing. But in 2026, I think it would be really fun to start making more content on there again, because most of it was about books specifically, but I'd also like to start incorporating some writing. I think that would just be fun, so definitely go follow me on there to keep up. And then my last goal is to create an author Instagram to stay connected with some friends that I've made from this channel already, which we can actually check that one off because I actually just made my writing Instagram. I will have the username on the screen and you will see that I do have old posts on there, but that's because it used to be like my book Instagram, but I really never posted on it because I'm not very aesthetic like the book girlies are. So now it's just going to be my place where I talk to my friends and maybe post once in a while. And yeah, those are all my writing goals for 2026. I don't think it's anything too crazy. I shouldn't have any problems accomplishing a lot of these goals, which I didn't want to like reach for the stars in 2026. I think 2026 is more about setting the tone so that I can reach for the stars in 2027. But I'm really excited for this next year. I'm feeling motivated. I'm so hopeful that I will finish Project Miles and I can't wait. That just sounds like a crazy sentence. So I really hope you follow me along on this journey. But let's get into my 2026 writing vision board. Okay, as you can see, we are currently at my desk. I have my vision board pulled up and I will also put it on the screen as well so you can have a better look at it. I made my vision board using a Canva template and just put in my own pictures that I got from Pinterest. Naturally, I feel like that's where everyone gets their vision board pictures from. And as you can see back there, I actually have my personal vision board. So like I said, I love a good vision board and I will use any excuse to make one. So on my vision board, I used a lot of images that felt to me like they were photos taken in the revision process of a manuscript. Is that necessarily the case? Probably not, but that's how I inferred them. So as you can see, I have a lot of images of a girl sitting at her desk and editing. I have some images of a girl looking at a physical manuscript because when I am finished with draft 1, I would absolutely love to print out every single page of my book so that I can hold it physically and make notes physically and put it all into a binder. I think that would be a lot of fun. And then on the left side, I also have some photos of a girl writing on some sticky notes. Like I mentioned, I would love to outline draft 2 using sticky notes. And then I have a photo of a girl looking at papers on her wall. In my head, I can see myself looking at all my sticky notes or looking at all of my edits in the physical pages that I print from my manuscript. And then I know in 2026, I will be writing a lot, so I will need a lot of coffee. So we have some images of writing materials with a coffee, of course. And I also have some images with headphones in there because I cannot write if I am not listening to music. It's just impossible for me. And on the right, I did put some images of a girl at a bookstore and a girl reading a book, and then an image that says read more books, because I feel like you can't be a writer if you're not a reader. Reading only makes you a better writer. So I want to read more books in 2026 that are the same genre of my books. I'd love to read more mysteries, and I know I'll be reading romance. That is pretty much the only genre I read, with a few thrillers and mystery books thrown in there. But I think in 2026, I definitely want to read more mysteries just to study the structure of them and also for entertainment purposes, of course. And I also have an image here of the YouTube logo and a camera because my YouTube channel is also a part of my writing. So it didn't feel right not having that somewhere on my vision board. And then I just put a few quotes in there like I'm doing it for me, because I am. I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for my younger self who found this passion of writing. I've been writing since I was about 10 or 12 years old, so I know that younger me would be so proud of me to see that I am still writing. And then I have Write Until You Surprise Yourself, because there's nothing better than when you're writing and you write a line so good that you shock yourself and you're like, did I actually just think of that? Did my brain come up with that? Like, that is just one of the best feelings that I know a lot of writers can relate to. And then I have this image here that says write the book like 10 times, because I just need the reminder constantly to write the book, write the damn book. And then I have one that says don't wish for it, work for it, because I can say that I wish to be a published author until I'm blue in the face, but if I don't put the work in, I will never be a published author. Even if it's scary to put your work out there, which I know I am terrified of people reading my work. I am so insecure about it, but I know that in order for my writing to be out there, I have to get over that fear. And then I have one that says stick to the plan, not to the mood, because I mentioned this already. I am really only writing when I feel like it at the moment, and that's not an option in 2026. And then smack dab in the middle of my vision board, we have 2026 is my year. 2026 is the year that I finish Project Miles and I become a better writer, and I really just start sticking to that wish and that journey for becoming a published author one day. For this vision board, I probably will not print it out and put it in my room. I probably will just make it the background on my laptop, because obviously whenever I write, I open my laptop. So I think just having it there every single time that I go to write will help me and just be that little motivation every time I open my laptop if I don't feel like writing, that I'm doing it because it's a dream. That wraps up the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to 2026 and meeting these goals along the way. Hopefully it helped you set some goals as well. I would love to know if there are any writing goals that you have that you didn't see on my list, and maybe I'll incorporate them into my list as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, but I really appreciate you for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!